Ooh, sugar, sugar, sugar. I like it. I like when I got the shade. Raw was Monday night. I'm your host, Most Donald Wood. This is Brandon Galvin, and we're here tonight. We talked about all the things that happened over the last week online, but we're going to talk about Raw because we haven't talked about it yet. Gosh, it sure was 3 hours long. It felt very long tonight.
Felt longer than that.
If it, honestly, the last couple of weeks of all the talk of the draft and how bad it's been, we've had at least things to talk about. Tonight, it just feels like it was a bit more plotting. There were good moments, there were highs, but then there were just like long periods of lulls.
I mean, I could probably count like 3 entertaining segments, maybe 4.
Yeah, but hey, all things considered, that's like 3 more than before when it comes to Raw.
No, last week was better than this show. This show was terrible.
Nah, I didn't hate it nearly as much as you. But we are Ring Rust Radio. We do complain about wrestling. Talk more about who we are.
Donnie, you and I represent 2/3, the best 2/3.
The better 2/3. Yeah. Again, it's like the Shield without Roman Reigns.
I only say that on Get Vocal when I say the 2/3 of us, because usually it's just me and Mike Chiari, our other co-host. He only works on Wednesdays, apparently. He refuses to do Get Vocal. So Donnie and I, we watch Raw live every Monday night, and we come on here, Get Vocal, at 11:15 p.m. Eastern to break down the good, the bad, and the ugly from Monday Night Raw. There's very few times where we actually talk good things.
Yeah, but I will say, I'm looking at your schedule here, BG, and you say Braun Strowman, Firefly Funhouse, and I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want because this is how that works. I want to start with Bray Wyatt because that was the true highlight for me of Raw because Mike Chiari always talked about rushing things, and I know that I'm sure he's gonna be like, "Oh, you couldn't have waited for this." Week to week, we've had progression. Week to week, we've had momentum moving. Just you're seeing the character kind of come to shape, and then all of a sudden, he just fucking smacks you in the back of the head, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?" And it's a total swerve, but it's a play on what he's been doing. And maybe this still is in his head, BG. Maybe we talked about like this all being an illusion inside of his fucking maniacal head. But he's turning into like a mix of like a Slipknot character, one of the guys from Slipknot, Terry Funk, and also Doink. And like, I think that I'm here for all of this. It seems very unique. It seems, to me, in a weird way, it's like right in line with what Bray was doing before in terms of like the sinister character. When he got serious, it reminded me of how the character was before. But the outfit, the attire, the fucking mask he was wearing, this is completely different than anything I expected from from this story. I didn't know. I honestly didn't have a picture in my mind of what Bray Wyatt would look like when he came out to the ring next time. But seeing this, I assume this is the gimmick. I assume what we saw tonight is what he's going to roll to the ring with, right?
For one half of it, because I can see them doing kind of like a Kane situation where you have this like, goody Bray Wyatt, and then this other dark side of Bray Wyatt, so you never know kind of which one you're going to get. Maybe he appears twice on every show because of this. There's a lot of ways they can go with that. I said before there was like 4 good segments on the show. This is one of them because it's still intriguing. I do think they could have maybe pushed this down the road like a couple of weeks, but I don't know what their end game is here exactly. So for all I know, this could be the perfect timing. I liked seeing that new character. I liked it going back and forth. I'm very intrigued, like you are, to see if this is his attire. Like I wrote it here on our schedule, like is he supposed to be it? Is he Spawn? Like it's like a mixture of both. You mentioned wrestling characters, we're all for that. That's the more interesting thing. And how they play up on that is going to be that's the critical thing, right? That's how you got The Undertaker and Kane to be who they are, right? So they kind of have a 3rd or 4th chance to fix Bray Wyatt with this, right? They kind of fucked him up over the years.
They have not kind of fucked him up. They have royally fucked him every which way but loose throughout his fucking entire career.
Yeah. This is the way to really build him back up. It's a very intriguing character. It's a very intriguing design. Like, I really like the mask that they chose. I really hope that doesn't just stay in these vignettes, and that is something that, like I mentioned with Kane, remember when Undertaker used to wear his mask when he had the injury?
I like all this.
Yeah.
I like the idea. The Tech Buzz has kind of the same idea down here. The idea of him coming to, it's like almost like Finn Balor. Like, is he coming down as the demon or is he coming down as the guy? Is he going to come in? Look, here's Bray Wyatt. He's waving and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you like piss him off. You do something to him and he's like, okay, all right, I got somebody you should meet. Like, it could be a very, how they, and that's the beauty of this. Every single week when Mike told me I can't love this, and I said, yes, I can. I defied. I said, love is love. And I said I can love this.
Love at first sight, bro.
But the idea is that he has progressively gotten different. Every week it's like, oh, he's adding an element. What is this? It's darker. Now he's got this character, this aura around this character. Now we have this momentum behind it. And you can't help but be excited for, okay, you may not like his in-ring style. That's fine. But regardless, until he gets to the ring and the bell rings, you will be excited because of the way they're actually portraying a character and telling a story. Because I know this is like foreign to us. We're like, what is this story? What is this character development I see? Because we're not used to it. But this is genuinely entertaining.
The way to see, I'm not a Bray Wyatt fan, especially in the ring. Like, I always said he should be a manager because he can talk. But the way to go about that is when you have that character out there, he is this just menacing, hardcore, like, wrestler. Like, that's what I would do with him, right? Not like these long, drawn-out matches. Kind of like what we always talk about with, like, the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg match from WrestleMania 33. Yeah. You do this hard-hitting, like, just big power moves, get in, get out. You get, like, 5 minutes of a match, maybe 10 if you're on a pay-per-view, and that is it. That's how I think they have to go about that. Like, right when Kane was coming in, right when Undertaker was coming, like, you come in, you get your ass beat by Bray Wyatt, and that is it. Doesn't matter who it is, Bray Wyatt. When that is that Bray Wyatt character, he is like nonstop hardcore. Like, you can barely touch him. But then when he's this other Bray Wyatt, when he's this more forgiving and understanding Bray Wyatt, and he's trying to change himself, it's when he gets his ass beat. That's how you get that. Like you're saying in the chat, that's how you get this Mick Foley character, right? Mick Foley was the guy that got his ass beat. Mankind, you started to see that metamorphosis of this guy who was demented and whatnot. Then he was hardcore. Then it became like the joke. Remember in like 99, he became a joke. And then you go into that my favorite feud of all time, Triple H versus Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack. When he transforms into Cactus Jack, that was holy shit. Now you're fucked.
Yeah, right? That should be the idea with Bray Wyatt. But like I said, I don't know what. And again, Amy has a great point here. I have no these are pre-written. They said Undertaker's involved. That there's a lot of producers, a lot of things going on. But like, once he is then transformed into a character on the show where he's got to wrestle and stuff like that, I have no faith that the vignettes will continue. I have no faith that the character will be developed any further. I have no faith that the storyline will have any depth added to it. I have no confidence that he won't just start wrestling every single week, so the novelty of it's gone. It's just, there's...
Question for you, Donnie.
Yeah.
Could you... Now, I know this is WWE. It's very far-fetched. They probably will not do this. So I'm going to throw it out there because you and I have enjoyed this for almost 4 years now, I want to say, since the Hardy Boys did it. Was that 2015 or 2016? 2016?
We're talking about the
when they started to do Final Deletion and whatnot. Those... What you remember what year that was?
2017, maybe? I don't know.
2017? I think it must have been the year before because they came back to WWE in 2017. Regardless, they had these very carefully orchestrated vignettes every time, and they transformed that into these matches, right? The Great War, Final Deletion, they had those trilogy of matches, and they did it with other people. What if they just took that route with Bray Wyatt and said, you're never going to go, like, for like a year or whatever, you're not going to go in front of the crowd to have a match. Like, everything happens pre-taped that we control and we put up. I know it wouldn't be that great for a pay-per-view if the fans are just sitting there. And maybe his stuff is just on Raw. You know, maybe you have these segments that we've always talked about throughout where it's like, hey, we have this is happening at the compound on Monday Night Raw or the pay-per-view, and it's these 5 vignettes that are pre-taped. And it's like we can control that message instead of having him go out in the ring where somewhat of a liability.
I mean, I disagree again with this. We're not going to talk about his in-ring ability because we always just yell at each other for like 44 minutes. But in earnest, I think that he's getting an opportunity here. So he's getting a major opportunity with this character overhaul. They're putting a lot into him. Whether they do the in-ring segments on Raw or they do them at the pay-per-view, I look when you said that I thought of Rosemary from Impact. Most of that stuff is pre-taped. Most of that stuff is done on Impact, and they like we just said they didn't do that dog collar match on the pay-per-view. They did it on television, which I got to see, but it was kind of short. It was done in segments. Like they're going to add things to it. Like it's going to be different when presented on television. So for that, I'm excited. So I'm hoping that maybe because remember, Jeremy Borash did a lot of that decay stuff that Rosemary like does still. And it was all part of that final deletion stuff. Well, Jeremy Borash is in the WWE now. And if of all the people they're talking to, consulting with on this segment, I guarantee they went to Matt Hardy and said, come on, you bring some of that final deletion magic for this. Come on, Jeremy Borash, you're real. This is what you're fucking good at. This is what you did. You created a viral hit by doing this, and we want you to do it again with Bray Wyatt stuff. So, I mean, if all of this was just an ends to a mean, if all of this was simply to get Bray Wyatt a new pair of pants and a mask, you know, that might not be enough after 3 weeks of just beating jobbers on TV. I have no faith anymore in what we're just saying because you have to keep this going. I need more promos. I need more, and you can't abandon Wyatt and let him be like, you're in this meaningless feud for the next 6 months, because then the promos will become repetitive because you can't help but be repetitive because they're like, oh, you're the one who's going to cut the promo tonight again. It's like you give Paul Heyman a storyline, he's going to come out every night and cut it. But you're going to fucking be like, yo, 6 months later, it's the same fucking promos. If there's no storyline development, they're just telling the same fucking element of the story over and over and over and over again. I don't like this guy. 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 Okay, cool. Tell me why. Show me why. Give me more depth to this character. Why do you hate him? What causes in your past to have this hate? But no, it's usually like, I'll tell you what, I'm coming for your title. And then it's that every fucking time. You're like, dude, I need more than that.
I mean, that's the good thing about these vignettes so far is that, and you can keep it going for however long you need because it's all an introspective on this person, right? So it's whatever that person is feeling that day, whatever he's going through. They don't need any other, whether he's the antagonist or the protagonist, they don't need anyone opposite of him because it's all just internal about Bray Wyatt. And we don't even know yet where that's going. We know now he has an inner demon, which, I mean, listen, that mask is fucking awesome. That's gonna sell when they put that out.
Honestly, it's a very cool mask. I really do enjoy. Again, it's like I was like a goth kid in high school and middle school. I loved Slipknot. My first band shirt that I ever got was a Slipknot shirt. When Wait and Bleed came out. Remember that song, Wait and Bleed?
I'm not a Slipknot guy.
Sure. Okay, I can't wait to see you later on. And Cinnamon's like, can you turn the volume down, dude? You're fucking being an asshole. And you're like, he was right about Wait and Bleed, brother. I fucking want to hot topic the shit out of myself right now, man. You told me you were those puffy jeans, though, or those puffy pants back in the day.
Pants, yeah.
So we all have skeletons in that closet. Something just open harder. I love it. Momo said, cut my hair. Eat shit, dude. It's all. I have it all back anyway, so you can't even see it. Eat shit. I look smooth as fucking a baby's butt. There's some. Other stuff happened tonight. I thought Becky Lynch and Charlotte and
Lacey Evans.
I thought that segment was actually really good. I actually enjoyed that segment.
I agree.
That was a highlight of it.
That was the best segment involving any of them in like 2.5 months, probably.
I'd say since WrestleMania was over.
Well, easily that, but I think even before that, like you guys love the one where they got arrested.
Yeah, I did. Damn right I did. You're damn right I fucking did. But I thought this was Becky shining. I think that they pretty much confirmed that Becky's going to Raw by announcing that her and Seth are together. So it's pretty much you're saying like they're going to be together on Raw. So I mean, we're seeing the writing on the wall in terms of Charlotte's going to win the title, I think, and then I mean, unless you have the cash in from the SmackDown side. Or you just save it. Like I said, Charlotte win straight up after the whole. We talked about, Lacey Evans and Becky have this long drawn out match, and then Charlotte kind of swoops in and fucking picks the bones.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Lacey Evans does not win the championship.
Yes, I agree with that. But not right now.
Right, it's Charlotte and then someone cashes in, or it's Charlotte and Becky retains.
Yeah. Which I could see them doing that. Now we talked about her losing everything, which I still believe she should lose everything in the same night.
I agree. I think
that's the moment you do.
I'm leaning, 60-40. I'm leaning though towards her losing everything.
I believe it should be. I mean, I'm 50-50 with everything WWE does. What?
So are they.
I know, that's whatever. They don't care. Sami Zayn is in the Money in the Bank ladder match.
Thank God.
Are we adding Strowman back in like last second? Because I can totally see that.
Yeah, he probably takes out Corbin or something.
How about Nikki Cross? She's doing all Alexa Bliss's legwork, and she's going to be like a girl. Well, somebody said they're going to change her back into like a girly girl because that's how she really is in real life.
Can we move on?
Well, listen.
I'm so fucking mad about that. They brought her up. She's one of the best performers, one of the best characters in all of NXT. They bring her up. They're letting her do her thing. She's going crazy backstage. Everyone wants to play with Nikki. Fucking going great. Then they stop using her, and all of a sudden, she's playing mind games with Alexa Bliss, which is clearly what she was doing there. But then she just helps her. She doesn't turn on her or anything. Like, I fuck WWE.
No, I'm gonna hold out hope that this is all a big ruse for Nikki Cross to just turn and she gets the briefcase and she's just like
she's not even in the match.
She could be in the show. Maybe that's what they say. Like coming into the match, they're like, "Oh, wait, you're not in it. She won the match."
Well, I thought that's what they were going to do on Raw. Obviously, that would have been overshadowed by Sami Zayn being in. So maybe you're right. Maybe they do have that on the pay-per-view, but I don't even see them doing that. To take out Alexa Bliss of all people?
Yeah, but she still has. When was the last time she wrestled? The shoe match?
Yeah.
I just Raw, you take the energy out of me. I watch this. Did you see the new FX show? We Hide in the Shadows, or What We Do in the Shadows. It's about vampires. It's a comedy about vampires, and it's fucking funny as shit. I'm telling you, you'll love it because it's a psychic. The one guy, they're all like 1800s psychic vampire or 1800s vampires, and then there's this one dude who looks like a normal ass office dude who's a psychic vampire, and he always like makes people go to sleep by sucking out the energy. He's like, "What'd you pack for lunch today? Did you like peanut butter?" Like that's how Raw feels to me. It's a psychic vampire. I'm over here trying to spend time with my family, and then all of a sudden Michael Cole's like, "It's balls time," and I'm like, ugh.
It's gotten to the point with him where I get pissed off when he said like how he says WWE. Everything he says just pisses me off.
I think he is the voice of a generation.
Speaking of generations, today it was announced that The Undertaker is going to wrestle Bill Goldberg for the first time in Saudi Arabia at WWE Super Showdown. Pretty sure that was the name of the Australia pay-per-view last year.
It sure was. They're running out of fucking things to tell us.
They couldn't even put like a number on it. Like, they just don't even give a shit anymore. Yeah, are you happy that The Undertaker is going to wrestle Goldberg?
I read an article tomorrow on Bleacher Report. It's funny you say that about this topic, and I think that
funny how that works.
It's weird to me that they announced this. It was when I was like, what? You're gonna do what? But the more and more I think of it, it's gonna be okay. You get the two entrances out of the way at the same time. You're appeasing the fans who want to see it. You're appeasing the people who fucking paid the money to have this show on there. They want a super showdown. They want a big show. So fucking here's this one they've never met before. WCW, WWF, they both fucking like ran the show at their respective companies for a period of time. Finally, as you'll read in that article, it's finally good to see WCW get one back for the boys after Triple H undeservingly won against Sting. So that's going to be nice. And in all honesty, it's going to be 2 entrances, a 5-minute match, and we're fucking out of here. And then it's still a fucking 4-hour show. So all those other younger guys who are not 50, I think I did the math for the article. I think it's 106 years old combined for those two guys. 106 years old together. So all the guys who are younger than that, now they have ample time. If that whole segment takes 25 minutes with entrances and exits and the match itself, that's fine. Just that could be the spectacle because that's what they have to do. It's a huge super show. It's got to be like a little bit like WrestleMania, a little bit for the casual fan. That's the casual fan one. The hope is that not only does it take a short amount of time so the younger guys have ample time on the show, it also draws in some of those fans who are like, "Oh, Undertaker Goldberg, I haven't watched in a while, but I love those two guys." So it is a true never before seen match. So that in an age of wrestling now where we don't have many true legends wrestling anymore, that is truly one of those matches where you're like, wow, I never even knew I wanted that.
I don't hate it at all. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it because I think it's going to be that Goldberg-Lesnar type that we keep asking for, and they sometimes give it to us, sometimes they don't, but I think you have to here. To have a long, drawn-out match with Undertaker and Goldberg at this point would make no sense. I think if you're Goldberg, you tell him, like, hey, me and Lesnar, we fucking blew the roof off WrestleMania. Let's go do that with the Undertaker. And I think Undertaker at this point in his career, too, after having a very long match at both shows last fall, right? October and November. There were long matches that didn't been that long. So I think if you're Undertaker, you're like, all right, like let's just give them what we need to give them and we get the hell out of here. So I'm excited for that match. It's not one that I would have booked. It's not one that I, like it wasn't a dream match for me. I would honestly prefer if Brock Lesnar was also in this match and they gave us that triple threat that they teased 2 years ago. I think that would be a little bit more fun, especially with Lesnar's history here. I have no idea what he's going to do on this show, so that's going to give them another segment that's like, all right, come get your money's worth. You get to see Undertaker versus Goldberg, and then Brock Lesnar's over here. Triple H's Randy Orton's announced too. I don't know why that is, but this match, the big thing that threw me off was why you would announce that heading into Money in the Bank 6 days or like later when you could have just waited for next week to announce it, right? Doesn't that just make no fucking sense that you would take the attraction away from Money in the Bank to put it onto this match 6 days before your show? No,
I disagree. I think that you have to, if you're planning multiple shows, you have to build to multiple shows. Hold on, be honest with yourself. We were talking about how much they're giving away at this Money in the Bank. It's fucking WWE Championship between Owens and Kingston. We talk about Rollins and AJ, 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. You have this. We talk about it's a stacked fucking card. It's the night of Becky Lynch. It's a ridiculously stacked card. You don't need to sell that anymore. It's sold. You got my fucking
away. Just announce this in a week.
Well, honestly, if I buy the pay-per-view for Money in the Bank, I get fucking Super Showdown for free anyway.
Right? You're gonna do it regardless if it's today or next week.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think that's as much of a concern as it used to be when it comes to pay-per-views.
Stupid. It's stupid to announce that when you have a pay-per-view you're trying to.
Just I don't know. Why are you yelling?
Because it's dumb. I'm gonna yell at dumb shit.
Stop! You're hurting me. You're hurting me. All right, I'm done talking about wrestling until Wednesday.
There's nothing else to talk. There's literally nothing else to talk about.
That's ignorant. Mojo Rawley had a fucking new gimmick, and you haven't even addressed it once.
The fans got Rey Mysterio versus Cesaro. That was pretty cool.
That was a fun match. That was a really fun match. You know what I mean? There was some good. Like I said, you can't shit on this. I had a lot of fun watching. The Fatal 4-Way was pretty good for the women. I enjoyed that match too. Why do you hate? Why do you cover something you hate so much?
I mean, we can say about every wrestling fan, I think, at this point.
Yeah,
you watch if you hate it. Well, I'm just used to it. It's part of the
it's honestly too much like an abusive relationship. It's too much like no, they're gonna change. BG, I'm positive they're gonna change.
I don't like this analogy.
But it's true. I don't like it either. But I mean, we come back every single time, and you know what? We come on here, we complain. But guess where we're going to be next Monday?
Right back here, complaining. Hopefully not, though. You know, that's why we come back. We're like, maybe.
Hold on. Hopefully not. We're not going to complain. Or hopefully not. We're not coming back.
No, hopefully we're not going to complain. We're always going to be back, unless we're in the hospital. We'll be back.
Yeah. At least we have NXT. Yes, Amy agreed. All right, we'll tell everybody where we're at.
Donnie, this was our Raw review live on Get Vocal. You can catch us on demand. Of course, you don't just catch us live, but it is on demand on YouTube, on Get Vocal, sometimes on Patreon, if I remember to post it there. Speaking of, patreon.com/ringrustradio. You can go there to interact with many other fans of the show and contribute to our show. We offer a lot of rewards, such as retro reviews and fantasy drafts. Very excited, Donnie, for the May WWE pay-per-view match draft, which is taking place 2 weeks from tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern. That's where we draft from the history of all WWE pay-per-views in May. You draft 10 matches, and our fans on Patreon can vote for who put together the best card. Donnie, every week, you and I and Mike Chiari, he joins us, refuses to work Monday nights, but he loves Wednesdays for some reason.
That's all. We don't want him. Honestly, at this point, I don't think I'd fucking let him in.
I think you let him in. But we go on.
Oh, no. Honestly, could you imagine how hard he'd cry if he fucking tried to come on here for a post Raw and we're just like, nah, no thanks. Give Vocal Boys for life, dude. Get the fuck out. And he just didn't. He wouldn't come on. He wouldn't come Wednesday. He'd be like, no, that's not. What is that? How's that Give Vocal Boys?
That was a V.
That's a very deep V. That's like a fucking. I don't like that V. That's like Vader V, but not the good kind. Yeah.
Oh, if you love the stupidity, check us every Wednesday, Ring Rust Radio. It's a long form podcast. We rival Raw in length and quality, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true. We're not good and we're too long. That is the fucking definition of my fucking everything in my life. Everything. I am fucking so tired I can't handle it. God bless America. We'll see you back here. On next week. It's awkwardly long pause as I try to find the stop broadcast button. On next week.